What's up, everyone? Candyman from the Candyman Show here. Of course, it's an amazing, hot Tuesday night. And for all of those people who are like waiting for spring and summer, I'm not liking y'all right now. I am a fall winter person. I like the cold. I enjoy the cold. This heat, not to mention these mosquitoes is And my poor producer, he's got that special blood where the mosquitoes really enjoy him. Of course, we're back. We took a little bit of a hiatus, but we're here. It's an amazing Tuesday. Of course, I got my lovely co-host Alice. How you doing?
Doing well, doing good.
Yeah.
Kind of was good. Have a little break though. Had some rest.
Yeah. Kind of got the woosah, chill. And of course, we got the man, the myth, the legend, in the back right there, Mr. Duke. How you doing?
What up? What up?
Of course, how you feeling, bro? I know you had a couple weeks ago. You had that big event with the band. How did it go?
It took me a little while to recover.
I bet, man, because you were outside the whole day, pretty much.
Yeah, until like 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
And you went. too.
Yeah, I went. I got sunburnt like a motherfucker.
I was there 4 hours before you.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk a little
So-
bit about that, but we also got an amazing guest with us right here. We got Miguel Contreras. How you doing, sir?
Doing good, doing good. Happy
Of course,
to be here.
jewelry maker. Extraordinaire.
Yep. Miggy the jeweler is what I go by.
What's
Yeah.
it? How did it go?
Miggy the jeweler.
Miggy the jeweler.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
And how long you been doing this?
4.5 years.
Yeah.
4.5 years. Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right, look, we're going to continue this because I've been very patient. All right, I'm pretty proud of myself because I've been dying to give this gift to my co-host. Of course, a couple weeks ago, we were at Comic-Con. Of course, Alice, you couldn't make it, but I thought about you, and I've met this gentleman. He flew in from Japan. He's an artist, okay? And
I'm excited to see it.
so he does all the manga illustrations. Okay, his name is Hiroshi. I hope I don't. Kanatani. Okay, but he does it because she's also a big fan of a particular beast, who also passed it on to her kids because they are also. He does the Godzilla.
Oh
That is
my
awesome.
God.
Wait, yeah.
Enzo's gonna lose his
Wait.
mind.
So I asked him to do something for me. Open it. You gotta open it.
Oh man.
I've been waiting.
You know how like this isn't gonna be mine. This is gonna be the 7-year-old. My 7-year-old has watched every single Godzilla movie, whether it be in English or in Japanese, on HBO, on
I asked him to do a
Netflix.
little something for me so you can open it up right there. He did a little sketch for you.
That's
That
cool.
is so
Signed it. He did the little
cool.
sketch for you.
Oh man.
I know. I mean,
That's
like,
so
he was
good,
just
yeah.
like he was so fast with it. I'm like, yo. I mean, he had just flew in from Japan that Thursday night, and I went to see him on Friday, and I talked to him a little bit, and then on Saturday I went to see him again on Saturday, and of course that's when I had gotten the text, and I was like, all right. I went straight to him. I'm like, look, I need to get this book. Can you sign it for me? And can you do a little sketch for me too? And he's like, oh yeah, And I felt bad for him because he was there the whole day. And I was like, is there something in Texas you want to do? He's like, I want to try the barbecue. I want to try Texas barbecue. And I was like, man, I was like calling some of my friends like, hey,
Yeah.
can you bring me some barbecue? 'Cause I want to
barbecue.
give it to this man. Like nobody wanted to come out to Dallas. And I'm like, but he's supposed to be coming back. And I'm hoping he comes back for Fan Days coming in November. So, but he's super cool, super chill gentleman. And like I was like, I'm walking, I'm looking, I'm like, oh dang, okay. I introduce myself and everything. And I'm hoping when he comes back, we can do an interview with him also.
That'd be cool.
So y'all be looking on the lookout for that. Yeah, he was, like I said, he was such a nice guy, but like there was so many people out there. Like that Saturday, Duke can attest to that. I mean, it was super packed Saturday. Of course, you had all these big names out there. And I think, I can't remember the guy's name. He's I guess he's a video game voice voice actor. His line was long. I mean, like people were waiting like hours to get his autograph, and I'm for the life of me, I was asking, dude, who is that guy? I don't know who he is. Like, there's like Tamara Morrison, you know what I mean? Like Ming Na Wen, they had a good line, but
The
this
one particular guy.
yeah.
So who
this
was it?
cat, I'm trying to remember. I know Duke's gonna look up his name, and I don't even know what game he played or he does, but
It's crazy, like how certain like in different aspects, like certain things certain people get so famous. Like even cosplayers that
yeah,
they're just she's just a cosplayer.
Yeah.
And they have lines and lines and lines of people. And I'm like, man, that's pretty crazy. But I mean, I have to admit, like they have pretty badass costumes.
Yeah.
But still, I was like, that's
yeah.
just crazy.
And it's crazy because they design all that stuff themselves, and they sew, they
Yeah, from
they
scrap.
glue, they do
Making
everything.
everything,
like,
yeah.
yeah, from scratch. But his line was huge, and so was Chris Sabat. And you kind of figured Chris Sabat was going to be, you know, he's the voice actor of All Might, Shenron, Vegeta. Like he has
Yeah.
so many, like he's done so many
Yeah.
amazing animes. But it was just crazy. Like they had bigger lines. I think the only other bigger line was he was on Doctor Who. He was one of the Doctor Who's.
The one that
he-
plays the House of Dragons, that guy, the same one?
He was on he did a show called Gods and Demons or something like that. Gods and Devils or something like that. Neil Newborn, was that the voice? Do you know what game he was? What?
Mm.
Are they big
yeah,
games?
those are too big.
Yeah.
Resident Evil.
Yeah,
Oh, I know
Resident Evil,
Resident
yeah,
Evil, but
serious,
the Baldur's Gate?
Yeah, it's a nerd game.
Yeah.
It's based on D&D.
Oh, okay.
So baby,
okay.
basically, yeah.
So it was crazy. But yeah, his line was huge. And look, with all due respect, I'm grown. I have grown up money, but I'm also, you know, you figure when you're grown, you get through and buy things.
Yeah.
But now I'm like very frugal. Like I'm like, I look and I say, hey, how much is it for an autograph? And he told me the price. They told me the price on some of the actors. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I have money, but
Yeah.
I'm going to spend
Yeah.
it.
Some of
on
$100, a
that.
couple $100 or something like that. Yeah. Like
Yes,
crazy.
yes.
But I think that also comes with age sometimes, because like it depends. Like when I was a kid, we didn't do much. We didn't get much.
Yeah.
So you know, when I was bartending, like at 3606, we were making stupid money. So like if we were going to Comic-Con and my like kid,
Yeah.
my 13-year-old at the time was like 9 or 10 or whatever,
Yeah.
and he wanted this, like we were spending like $3,000 at Comic-Con. Even Candy was like, eh. And I was like, you know, I didn't get to do this.
Yeah.
I don't know when I'm gonna get it, so might as well now. And now I'm like, do I really want to spend like $60 for a damn autograph? Like,
Yeah.
so it just in some instances, like you go through that phase where you're like, man, I never got to do this. Who cares? Let's just enjoy the moment. And then
that makes
later,
it easier for the fact that you couldn't, and plus like it's things you're passionate about. Even like it gives you what is it, nostalgia from when
Yeah.
you were a kid. It
Yeah.
brings you that same joy. Like even
Seeing
now,
their
so-
happiness
yeah,
on their face.
especially on the
Yeah.
kids. Yeah, especially when you see them, it gives you the nostalgia about them,
Yeah.
and they're happy, and just everybody's happy. So
Yeah.
you're gonna put in the money. But I feel like also too, because you were at a bar, you're like, oh, I'll just make that tonight.
She's like,
I'll make that.
that's what I told him too. He was like, damn, Alice. I was like, I'll make it. I work Saturday and Sunday. I'll be fine. Whatever.
See, and it's difficult. I mean, like when I was the first time I went to the Comic Cons for the show, oh yeah, I was spending crazy money. But I think now it's like, okay, I pick and choose.
Yeah.
Like I was very fortunate when Stan Lee was alive. I was like, okay, I definitely got to get
I'm
him.
so jealous, man.
And the one that I regret not waiting hours in line with Carrie Fisher when she was here.
Oh man.
I would have loved to, but I was like, oh man, I don't want to stand in that line. And then like that following year, she passed, and I'm like,
Man, that sucks.
I would have loved to have met her, talked to her,
Yeah.
and just let her know. It's like, man, I've been a big fan. I've loved you since the Star Wars
Yeah.
Episode 4. It's like
Yeah.
it's like but I regret that part. I mean, there's certain actors. I mean, I would want to meet.
Shoot, Mark Hamilton, man. Not only just for Star Wars, but for
The voice of Joker.
Joker.
Yeah.
Such a good voice.
You know what? And for the longest time, I never knew it was him.
I know, same. I barely
For
found
the
out like
longest time, I
5
never
years
knew.
ago.
Yeah, and the only reason it was because they were doing they were bringing back Batman with Kevin Conroy, and they were doing behind the scenes, and I'm like, no way. It's like Mark Hamill was the Joker.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, dang. Yeah,
Blew my mind.
I would
But yeah.
definitely stand 4 hours in line and pay for his.
Yeah, I was a fan already just for being Luke Skywalker, but then being the voice of the Joker, like I'm the kid. Like I remember watching that show as a kid all the time. So yeah, that voice is always iconic to me too. So
Oh yeah. But I got sidetracked. We got to talk about. We can
segue because you're talking about the conventions and spending money. Because for those who don't know, I travel throughout the U.S. and sell jewelry at conventions, specifically sneaker conventions like Sneaker Con, Gotso, which are some of the biggest sneaker resale conventions. But they don't necessarily only just do sneakers. They do like artistic paintings, clothing lines, just a mixture of stuff. And then it just works out really well with the culture, the fashion. Everything. Jewelry is just an accessory to add on to it, because I mean that's initially what sneakers are. They're accessories.
Yeah. So what drew you into jewelry making?
There was an ex of mine. She was a jeweler for over 18 years. Was working under somebody for 18 years, and all it took me was just a couple months with her. And like I always like to elevate people. I've always been I always like to give free game to people and share my wisdom from what I know from experience to people all the time.
Right.
And a couple months into dating, I was just like, hey, I want to get some jewelry. And I wanted to go through her. And she was like, oh, well, you don't have to pay at the store. Like, we'll go to one of our wholesale suppliers that's here locally. And, you could just pay the wholesale price. And I was like, okay, cool. So we go. I choose out what I want. They give me the total and I pay for it. I was like, hey, how much would what I bought, how much would you sell it at your store? And she tells me, and there's like a really good profit margin on it.
Right.
I was like, right then and there, like literally at the wholesale, I was like, yo, why don't you do this? Why don't you do this for yourself? And she's like, oh no, I can't. And well, because she was always, she's a very safe person, so she's always the type that likes to stay in the box.
Okay.
Me,
Right.
I'm a creative, I'm a visual person. Anything that I see, I want to say I see more than most.
Right.
In a way, not saying I'm better or anything, but I'm just saying, like, I always like to think things different. What can I always do better? What can I do to change? How can I improve? What can I, like, just everything. Anything that, if there's a way to elevate or if there's a new direction to go, I'd love to explore it. So, back to to telling her, so normally whenever she says something, it's very, like, stern. It's like, oh, I'm sure. Like, I'm comfortable.
Right.
That's one thing that, like, at the time, what I really liked about her was like, okay, well, you like to play it safe, which is cool. Like opposites attract in my opinion.
Right. Yeah.
And so what she said was, what she says is what what it is. And I was like, okay, cool, whatever. And then like a few days later, she randomly brings it up. We're hanging out. She's like, I've been thinking about what you said. And it's like, I think I should try it out and see. I was like, cool, bet, say less. And like me with having music background, doing photography, videography, I have marketing experience in that.
Okay,
sort.
yeah.
So I just implemented what I knew and then helped her start her Instagram page, started taking photos of the content, of the product that we had. Well, she invested $500 starting off. I invested $500 starting off. And we just put it together just because I wanted to be supportive. It was just
Right,
like, I know it was
yeah.
early in our relationship, but I mean, I had really strong feelings with her, for her. Starting off, and I really saw, a future with us. And yeah, well, long story short, a couple years go by. Well, I guess faster to say, within a year, I want to say maybe about 7 months ago, our paths split, and I had to rebrand myself. But it's I thought it was gonna be a setback in my life, but it's actually a really good thing. I don't want to say it's a good thing, but it's been a lot better than I was expecting.
Okay.
Just because I know I can't, I took what I knew, but without limits at this point, so I was able to incorporate what I truly wanted with this business and really, basically put what I had in my head into frame.
Okay.
So now it's the direction that I wanted, the direction that I've been wanting to do it. And it's been a huge hit, man. I've it's not even been a full year, and I'm from starting off from back to zero. I don't say back to zero, but I mean basically nothing. Having to start off with a new Instagram, having to recreate my website, having to get my LLC remade along with my business accounts, new cards, new system, everything.
Yeah.
From starting off basically from nothing to basically being back to where I was compared in the 4 years time. I'm pretty impressed. I'm not gonna lie. Just talking about it right now, this is actually like the first time I've ever really got to like all right, where am I? What's going on? What are we doing? You know, that sort.
Yeah.
But I'm still able to, you know, travel to these conventions. I go to, like I said, all the sneaker cons, not only just in Dallas or Texas, but like I've been to Boston this year already, to Hawaii, to LA,
Oh,
to
wow.
Philadelphia, Fort Lauderdale, Miami area. Where else? I said Seattle if I haven't already. Coming up, we got Vegas, which I'm excited about. I love Vegas. It's a fun city. And plus, it's a money city. Vegas is always a 10 out. This is my third year traveling to these conventions, and Vegas is always a 10 out of 10 show.
Oh,
so I'm
nice.
excited.
Okay.
Yeah. But going back to what we were talking about the conventions, it's like those are really good niches for my brand because at the end of the day, people already have the mindset that they're going to go to these conventions and spend money.
Yeah.
So I mean, if they find what they want, if they don't find what they want, they have the money already that they're going to spend. I was like, okay, can we, I don't think we can curse. F it. I'll go ahead and just waste it on this or whatever, you know, type of thing.
Yeah.
It's like I really didn't want it, but yeah, it would be nice to have, so I'll just get it. They don't really like to second guess themselves, and they're just
Right.
like, in a way, impulse buyers too. So
Because that's the whole thing why you're going to the convention for. You're gonna drop money. It's
Yeah.
like if I don't have money, I don't want to go to an anime
Yeah.
convention. Why am I gonna torture
Yeah.
myself?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah, well,
not
some
an
people do.
issue.
But they realize I wouldn't expect them to do that same thing next year if they don't
Yeah.
have the money.
So yeah, you do bring up a really good point because I didn't want to spend money on the autographs, but there was a couple of rare comic books I did want to spend money on, and
Yeah.
I went in and I got those, and I picked a couple of those up instead. I was like, what do I want more? I mean, because autographs is nice. It's great. You know, you get to meet the people,
Yeah.
awesome people. But it's comic books. Yes, I enjoy reading them, but it's also, I'm not gonna lie, it's also an investment.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
I have some really good books and when I was young, I wish I would have still had the books when I was younger. Kind of like when you're talking about, you wish you had the Pokemon cards from when you were younger, because like
Man.
now, it's like if I would have still had those books when I was younger, they would have been probably worth a lot of money now.
Yeah.
But I still have a couple of rare books that are, that I keep hard case,
Protected
make
everything,
sure-
fireproof and everything.
Yeah, but it's like I'll get another one, like a raggedy one, and I'll reread those.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I have one like in mint. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, but I mean,
I feel like it's the same thing with because we're gonna relate to SneakerCon with
Yeah.
sneakers as well, man. Like for example, like I have some nice Air Force Ones, and I also have the beaters that I wear all the time.
Yeah.
So you gotta have those. You gotta have the variety, and hopefully it doesn't eat you alive when you're talking about the comic books that you had as a kid. But for me, it would be like more like, dang, I feel like that those held this high value in my opinion, even if it didn't have the market price to it. Like, because as a kid that
Yeah.
mattered so much to you
Oh,
before,
yeah.
and then now it's just like, oh dang, well I could also even benefited money wise.
Yeah.
As an adult, it's like a kid looking at it high value, adult looking at it at high value. It's funny how that works.
it's like now it's like I'll always buy, like, if it's a rare or a good book, I'll get two of each,
Oh nice,
because
yeah, that way
like
you can have
one I'll
the-
keep stored and the other one I can read and
Yeah,
enjoy
yeah,
myself.
that's smart. Yeah, yeah.
So I was like, I always like, I need two, like I'm a big fan of the Ninja Turtles. Like, so I'll get like a couple of those, like issue 100. If y'all haven't read any of that, issue 100 is when, do y'all want to know?
Go ahead.
That's when Shredder passes. I mean, not Shredder. I can't believe my brain went dead. Splinter.
The Splinter.
That's
Okay.
when Splinter passes. So, and it's like, I'm not gonna lie, that shit it got me pretty good. I'm like, man, because I grew up reading the Ninja Turtles, and
Yeah.
that was one of the books that I wish I still had, because I had some of the original books, and like now I can't even find them. I don't even know where they're at. But that's when I
Dang.
was younger.
Yeah.
And I kicked myself in the ass for that.
Yeah.
But I do have a lot of sports cards too. So there's like, and I haven't even gone through everything.
It's one thing that I recently gotten into too. So like now with my new direction, I'm partnered up with the gentleman at his storefront, and he basically he buys gold, he buys silver, but he also buys like a lot of anything that can hold value, and he could resell it. Like he introduced me to that niche of it, as far as like buying things for low and then reselling them quick to. But you got to have your connections. You got to have
Yeah.
the people who are specifically for that target niche. If it is baseball cards, if it's coins, if it's the gold and silver, if it's whatever whatever it is, it's like it's been I've been soaking in the information that he's been saying. So and the thing is too, within the last 7 months that I've been doing this on my own, I've actually learned a lot more within these last 7 months than overall on the 4 years since I've started. So it's just been a crazy wild couple months, and I'm just soaking everything in, and I'm excited to see how it is in 1 full year. I'm not even there yet. I'm at 7 months, so
Okay.
I'm almost there, but I'm excited to see where I'll be by the end of this year. I have a couple of goals in mind, and hopefully, God allowing, I'll get there. But I'm pretty confident in achieving that too. So,
Well, so you also got a lot of people who do collect jewelry.
hmm
You know what I mean? Custom jewelry or something with special designs and stuff like that.
yeah,
They like to, maybe something that a memory. You know what I mean? Like that has sentimental value.
yeah,
You know
sentiment,
what I mean? Do you get a lot of people like requesting stuff like that?
yeah, like custom pieces of memory pendants. Of course, they have those. But what I thought you were gonna go a direction with it, I was gonna be surprised if you knew this. It's just like the fact that like even if like, oh, my grandfather had this ring and he handed it down to me, but it doesn't fit, or it's like it's an older style, whatever. What we do is we just melt down that exact same gold and turn it into something else. If it's like a bracelet, or if it's like a pendant, or if it's like earrings, or whatever that it is, it's like we use that same gold that still had that sentimental value, that has a history with it, but they just put it into their own personal use, so that way they can appreciate it more, type of thing.
Well, I know the other
Rather than just having it safe in a lockbox or something like that,
I know
way
another
they
thing
can have it on
that
them.
people like to do, or some people do, is like they'll get the ash of their loved one and they put it in like in a crystal or something like that. Put it in a custom jewelry that way they could have it like part of
close
it.
to them.
Do you
Yeah,
get little requests like that? Also?
I haven't had that, but that's also not because so in the jewelry industry, like I said, this is what I learned in 6 months. I thought it was just, you can buy jewelry and sell it, go to wholesales and stuff. There's so many different niches within jewelry. Like you can have a business solely on buying gold. You can have buying gold or silver, just solely. You just buy whatever people want to offer it and just sell it to refiners and they melt it down. But you get enough of it, it's going to add up, type of thing. So there's that. You have, my business partner, he does grills. He only does grills, doesn't have jewelry, doesn't have necklaces, doesn't have rings, which is actually where I came in to help him expand his by bringing in my product. But he literally sole businesses, gold, buying gold, silver, and making grills.
Right.
So like because it's a certain niche for those grills. It's this, hip hop culture, it's Texas culture at that.
Yeah.
But now it's becoming more trendy to where even at the store, literally like every week, there's people flying in from out of town specifically to our store. Just because he provides like the highest, like his reviews are like amazing. He's 5-star, like top quality, and turnaround rates are like crazy. Like we can get them done as fast as next day type of product. So people are he's actually building up a very, very, very good brand for his self. And I'm just happy and appreciative that he put me under his wing to let me partner up and display my product on at his place. But it's just like, his niche is grills, mine's jewelry, but mine's hip hop jewelry. I can't go to a bridal expo and sell big Cubans and iced out grills in the tea. While I might make some, but it's not my niche. You need the elegant rings or necklaces and earrings, the ones dainty ones. So there's like specific niches for each person. Like I would love to do a Comic Con, any comic anime conventions or any of those types. But I feel like I would need to invest in specifically anime style jewelry, like
comic Marvel, DC type of
type of thing. I would have to have like
Could you imagine,
Goku
like, a
pendants or
big
whatever.
guy? Yeah.
Like that stuff. I would love.
Man, just walking around.
I would
with
love to do that, and hopefully within time I can do that. But right now I'm just solely sticking on my hip hop jewelry niche, and then I'll be able to expand. I mean, I'll have some cool, unique pendants here and there, but I wouldn't be able to have like a full display of that.
Can you imagine having like a big old Vader pennant, right?
Deadpool one.
Deadpool one,
yeah.
That would be so.
Yeah,
sweet.
and I mean, there are people like Swarovski who did collaborations with Marvel, or who else did it? The GLD guys. They're hip hop jewelry brand, but they specifically got the rights to produce like Black Panther pendant, Captain America, Spider-Man, all those pendants and stuff like that too. So that would be cool to get authorization, but you need money to spend on that. Like,
what was it? There was the young voice actress that did Ahsoka in the animated series. She has her own little jewelry line. She got with Disney, and they have like the little Ahsoka rings and stuff, like sterling silver and stuff like that. And she helps raise money for kids and stuff like that too. Like proceeds go for kids. Like they have their own, like she has her own clothing brand. And I was like, and she's like 12 years old.
That's cool, man.
And already like planning stuff like that. I'm like, oh my god.
Well, she's getting taught in the right direction, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
whoever her parents, family, whoever it is, the team that she has, that's a good way to have that. Because
Sometimes even surprisingly, a lot of these kids, like, a lot of these kids are growing up a lot faster than what we.
Oh yeah.
oh yeah,
And so a lot of them, sometimes it just comes from them. Oh my goodness, I follow this young lady on Instagram. I think she's probably like, she's in the range of like 8 and probably 11.
Mm-hmm.
And she does special effects, makeup. Like, she is amazing. Like,
Oh,
she's
wow.
done a class with like the top artists. She's about to get like some kind of a sign on, and she's only like 8, 9 around there. And I'm like,
I
oh my
mean,
goodness.
that is the best
Some-
time to
yeah.
absorb, and you know, those minds are sponges. You know, that's the best time for them to learn if they're going to learn a trade and learn what to specialize. That's the time.
Yeah.
But it's crazy just the access the kids have
Yeah.
now with the internet.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can learn anything. I mean, that's how I learned. Because this was in like 2010 and 2011. YouTube was like barely brand new, but it's
Right.
also how I learned how to do videography, photography, Photoshop editing, all that stuff. That's how I learned marketing in the beginning when I was an artist, because I was in a small town from Wichita Falls, and nobody was in the music industry like that, and I wanted to elevate myself, but I
Right.
had no access to it. I would have to come to the city, to Dallas.
Yeah, yeah.
And then so I just like, let me just learn it myself. So, but that's what all the kids are doing now too,
Yeah,
which is awesome.
we have so much access, and so it's like when people are kind of like, I'm like, it's because you don't want it. You really don't want it. Like, if you really wanted something, for example, I'm doing soap now. I've wanted to do it forever. I was scared as shit to do it because they're like, if you put too much lye, you can cause like a skin irritations and stuff like that. So I was like, I'm not gonna mess with that. I went to a class, and now like I watch videos, I watch this.
Yeah.
Like, they have calculators, they have so much, and now I have like freaking. Right now I have like 80 bars of soap sitting
Oh,
in
damn.
the garage, just waiting to cure. No, like I have like 80 bars of soap that I already cut and stuff.
She don't
and-
go half-ass. She go all in.
Yeah, no, I learned how to make large batches. So like in 1 hour the other day, I did 4 bricks, and so that's already 40 bars of soap because you get 10 from 1 brick. And so it's like, if you really want to do something, like, we have so much access to so much knowledge out there, and so like sometimes I get it, some situations things happen, but in most instances, like if you're stuck, it's because you don't want to do it. COVID, I was screwed. Bartending, clubs,
Yeah.
all that shit,
that was an eye-opener for
locked down.
everybody.
So it was like COVID, I started making masks, and I had the connections that I had because of 3606. I had Larry, I had Nathan, I had all these different people. And so like my masks were going, and I was doing custom embroidered masks. And so like masks I was selling them for like $20 a pop. And everybody was buying it. And then it went from masks to shirts. And that's literally how I survived through COVID.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have a day job. I had only bartending, and there were no restaurants and bars or clubs
Well, that's how
open.
we officially first met, because I had you made some Candyman show masks.
Masks.
I had some custom masks made for us for the show.
I feel like a COVID is messed up and horrible as you say.
Yes.
But it made
was an eye
those
opener
shine.
it was an eye opener. It was like, yo, this is gonna either make you or break you, and I feel like it's made a lot of people, man. It's a realization
Honestly,
in life.
It did, because it did give people the initiative, like, you know, they started doing like fabric work. You know what I mean? And they started like, oh, let me rearrange the house. Let me, they freaking redesigned their whole
and they
backyard.
realized,
you know
what
I
they
mean?
enjoy doing.
And they looked it up, of course, all through YouTube. They were like,
Yeah.
how to plant flowers, how to, landscape. You know what I mean? And they redesigned their whole thing.
Like, I loved and hated COVID all at the same time. Like, I hated it because we were in the house.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and I just like, but I loved it because I got to spend time into learning things and researching things. Like, I knew how to kind of like sew just a little bit, but what I went from sewing like a messed up stitch to being able to make a mask all by hand, to embroidering, from sending it out to
Yes.
somebody to create the file for me,
Yeah.
to me learning how to make the file on
Yep.
my own and not having to deal with that third
Yep.
party. And it's like, as you said, when you're creative and you have certain gifts, you try and figure out, why am I going to pay you for it when I can do it myself? I'm going
Yep.
to cut you out and I'm going to profit from it.
Right.
Exactly.
So maybe it might take me a little bit more time, but that's that's better for me financially.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And even still, if when you expand, whenever it gets to the point where you need a team, you'll know what to expect for that team, that team person, or you can learn, teach them what you know what to do. That way you can have it done the way that you want it to. So, yeah.
So let me ask you, when you decided you wanted to make this like your business, you know, did you have a lot of support from your family and friends?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Just what she was saying, I was in the nightlife before the promotions with clubs, and I quit my job. I was at Gucci for 6 years, and COVID hit, and then within a year, I quit my job. I turned it into full time just because it was that good of a launch. So initially, the business was for her. It wasn't for me. I was just gonna be a supportive person,
Right.
but it took off so well to where I was like, okay, I gotta help you out on this stuff, and we gotta do it together. And it just launched off so good, man. And well, what really pushed it was the fact that first year, as soon as we started business, I'm like, man, I'm over here. I only make, because Gucci, I got paid hourly, and I got paid 3% commission of any sell. While it's good, really, Gucci sells itself. I don't really have to sell it. I just have to help direct which way to point the client and what they want.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's like, I'm over here like, man, I'm only making 3% off this, and that. It's like, but if I invested full time in my jewelry business, my percentage is gonna be a lot higher and all this. So it's been picking on my brain for about a year. But also, what did it for me though? What made me finally take the leap was my daughter was gonna be born in a month. Realistically, thinking about it, it's just like horrible time to do it, right? But I was very confident in myself. The numbers were making sense. It was like I don't take just a blind risk. I take an educated risk.
Right.
If it makes sense, if things work out in my head, best case scenario, worst case scenario, if it all works out, you know, I would do it. Obviously, it's still taking the leap. Still taking the leap, but that's the scariest part, doing it.
Yes.
It can make sense in your head, but if you don't actually do it in real life, that's gonna stop you. But my daughter was gonna be born in a month. I put in my request for a maternity shoot. The photographer was already booked weeks in advance. I was like, okay, guys, I need this week off. There's no reason why it wouldn't be off or anything like that. Like, it wasn't a holiday, it wasn't anything like that. And they're like, okay. So it comes down to that week. They haven't posted the schedule. They posted it on the Friday of the shoot was on Sunday, and they were barely going to post the next week's schedule. So I only had one day to know exactly what I'm doing. And then so they booked it, and I was like, okay, well, I'm calling out. Call out of my job that Sunday. Monday came around. They were chewing me out. They're like, "Go, we know what you're doing. It's like, it's not like we're gonna have talk. We're gonna have a serious talk and all this." I remember the exact words that he said too. It's like embedded in my head. But, well, not only that, it was a mixture of things. So I was getting chewed out from management in the back, and but also too, I don't know if people remember, but whenever like luxury stores had, or any retail store, they had the line system.
Yes.
So there's times on the weekends, not even on the weekends, like during the week too, there's people that literally wait in line to get into the store for 2 hours. And it's like, well, one, nobody told you to wait in this line for 2 hours. Two, you could have shopped online.
Yeah.
Two, don't get mad at me. Get mad at the person in front of you that's taking their time.
Yeah.
Type of thing. So I was getting chewed out from the front end. Managers were chewing me
Right.
on the back end. I was getting stressed out. I was already stressing. It was my first kid ever. I was just like, you know what, let me just get out of here. You know, but after, you know, I knew what I was capable of doing. And I called my ex and I was like, hey, tired of it. You know, I've been talking about leaving. Today's the day. I was like, do you trust me enough to take over this business full time and provide for our family? And of course, I felt bad because, you know, obviously she's pregnant. She's doing a month.
Yeah,
So she's over here like stressed, but she's like, yeah, like, I mean, I really think you should think about it, but anything you do, like, I'll support it, blah, blah, this and that. And then like literally the day after, she's like, I know what I said. And like, just wait. I was like, maybe we should have just waited it out a little bit, whatever. But no, I told her, she said, yeah, okay. I was like, all right, I'll call you after everything's done when I get home. Because she was working at her jewelry store. And I said, okay, love you, bye. And then hung up and gave my keys to the manager. I was like, I'm out. And just walked out and put no 2 weeks notice because I was like, I didn't even want to do it professional wise because I don't want to be in my head and be like, oh, I can always go back. I was like, nah, if I'm doing this, like I'm doing
You're gonna
it.
do it,
I
yeah.
don't think I've ever put a 2 weeks notice in at any job because I was like,
I used to, but now I'm just like, after you realize it's like if they want to fire you, they'll fire you on the spot. I don't care.
They don't
And
care
not-
about you.
Not even that.
The one job that I put a 2 weeks notice in, that I ever tried to be cordial about it, they're like,
Just go.
They told me to just leave.
That
So I was like,
happened. Yep.
screw y'all.
I literally
I will
was
never
the
put a 2 weeks notice in, because why am I going to kill myself for a company that doesn't care about me?
And COVID was also a realization of that. They don't have your back as much as much as you do. Because like, by the insurance policy, whatever that we have with it, they're like, we'll pay you 60% of what you get, but they only pay me 60% of what I got hourly. They didn't pay the commission wise, and I made way more in commission than I did hourly.
Yeah.
You know, I was paying good hourly, but I mean, they cheated the system in a way. And I was just like, oh, you guys don't have our back the way I wanted to. It's like, so it put me in a tight space at the time. So, you know, like, thankfully the jewelry business took off so well that helped us out. What was I gonna say too? And
Also,
then,
you were always very good at marketing. I know people always like talk about partying and
Yeah.
nightclubs and all that stuff, but at the same time, like I don't work nightclubs anymore. I work more downtown dive bar.
Yeah.
We have more corporate
Yeah.
personnel, but Dallas itself is like a whole social network. Like in these nightclubs, you meet so many people and you end up with so many connections. That's how some of these bartenders make crazy ass money. And so this is how I met Miggy. I met him like 8 years ago at 3606.
Right.
And he has he has Roman who does Henny Sweet.
crazy. That's 8 years ago.
And yeah. And so like you meet all these different people, and all these different people specialize in something else. And so it's like, hey, I need jewelry. I'm always going to hit him up.
Yeah.
I'm never going to go to some random ass person.
Right.
My 13-year-old wanted his first gold necklace and chain. I'm not going to walk into a store where they're going to take advantage of me either. I've known him for 8 years. Why wouldn't I give my business to him? Why
Yeah.
wouldn't I trust him? Why
Yeah.
wouldn't I have faith in him? And he took care of us. My 13-year-old's happy. We have people who are liquor reps. We have people who do, custom clothing. You have all these different specialties, and you get to meet and network with these people. And so it's like, hey, we have an event. I know a jeweler. Hey, we have an event. I know somebody who does custom this, or I know somebody who does that. So that's also another thing where, like, when I've had my crazy ass ideas where I was like, I want to make fucking soap. Whoever wants to donate to start up the business, give me $5, I'll give you 2 bars when it's done.
Yeah.
I paid for my business startup in less than a week because of donations.
Right.
And so that's another thing that he's had, because he was always good at socializing with people. He was always good with talking with people and making connections.
Right.
So he got to do basically marketing without even knowing he was marketing himself
Right. Yeah.
before he needed that.
Yeah.
It's just being just a genuinely social person. It helped out a lot. And even now, like, whenever, definitely calm down on going out. Not saying I don't, but I always make it a reason to go out. So like, I try my best to always at least get 5 new Instagrams or 5 new
Right.
contacts. Any way I can network with people, I like to introduce myself and who I am, or I make sure to people, hey, it's like, hey, do me a favor, introduce me. Like, I know that person looks familiar. I've seen him around. Introduce me for a second.
But then as well, haven't you noticed that when you pull yourself out a little bit, like when you pull back a little bit, like we have friends that go out consistently all the time.
Yeah.
You step back, you don't go out all the time. You go out and it's like, oh my God, hey, like
Yeah.
you make yourself almost more valuable because you're not just out there.
Right.
So when you do go out,
As easily accessible.
It's
Yeah.
an important thing. Like,
Right.
holy shit. Miggy doesn't go out like, bro, like guess who just walked in? It's a different kind of feeling to it after that.
It's great, especially when you're, like for me, I'm flourishing. Sometimes I don't feel it, but they remind me, like, oh man, dude, I've been wanting to tell you, bro. I'm so proud of all that you've been doing and all this and that. So it's always a good feeling, man, just to hearing that, because like, I'm seeing myself every day. I make the baby steps, but people who don't see me every day, they see a leap, type
Right.
of thing. So for me, it's just like, it's my changes. Oh, I had to take a couple steps back, or boom, boom, whatever it is. But they see the big picture, which I don't always look at. Like I said, talking about my
we
recap.
overthink it. You're your worst enemy.
Ah, man,
half the
always.
time.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's the
Because I
thing.
even told him the other day, because I was talking to him about, because I didn't expect it to go so fast. Literally, I was just like, hey, if you think you can you help me find some jewelry? And he was like, boom, 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 I got this. I was like, okay, I want that. And in like, what, 30 minutes?
Yeah.
We already had everything locked in practically.
I just basically like to find out what the customer wants, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, well, if this is the direction it seems like you're going, I'll show you what I suggest. the easiest way. I try to make it easier, as easy as I can, because obviously, a lot of people. That's one thing that I'm very, very strong on is transparency on a lot of this stuff. Because, like she said, she doesn't want to go to somebody who's gonna, take advantage just because she doesn't know about the jewelry. But I like to be very transparent on people. I never try to cut corners. I never try to cheat somebody saying that they're getting something that it's not. If it's a lot of people don't know that, like, a lot of there's lab diamonds now, and there's diamond alternatives and everything versus just natural mined stuff.
Right.
So it's been taken off very well, because I mean, you're only paying a fraction of the cost and compared to the natural mined diamonds, which in my opinion is still a scam anyways, because a lot of people don't know this, but a business called De Beers owns 60% of the diamond mining business in the world. So if they want to make something rare, such as diamonds,
They'll hold
They have
back.
the authority.
they hold
to do
back.
so.
They'll hold back them and make it higher price for no reason.
Right.
So, but now that the technology is advancing, you can clone things, you can recreate whatever. You clone people. At this point, it's just you can just find alternatives like that. It's like AI. AI is taking away people's jobs. It's making things easier. But I'm glad that the laboratory made stones are basically reducing the prices of the natural diamonds, because they're taking advantage of it from a long time. But I always like to say that. But there's purists. People want pure. I want natural. I want mined.
Yeah.
I want the real thing. I don't want replicated. I want nothing. I was like, okay, that's fine. I can get you that.
That's what
That's
it's gonna
cool.
cost.
But I like to show people, hey, these are your options. You tell me which one works out best for you, and we'll go that direction. And then boom, boom, that's it. I just guide it. Where are we going? I'm just leading. I'm the tour guide. Which way are we gonna go? You want to go see tigers? You want to see elephants? Where are we gonna go? We're gonna go that way. Whatever you want to go. Me, it does not matter. I can show you anything and everything. We can travel the world. Whatever you want to do, I'll guide you. We'll go that direction if that's
So
what
let
you
me
want.
ask you this: can you pick out a natural diamond from a produced?
Yeah.
You can pick. You'll be able to. You can
Yeah.
just by view.
Yeah. Some. I
Really?
mean, depending on, like, how to explain it. I see them every day, so I can easily tell. But sometimes, depending on, like, well, the size wise, but if it's like a larger one, I could just see it by hand. Yeah, that's fine. But I'll probably have to use a loop. But it's easy detectable, because not all lab made diamonds, but a good majority of them, they're gonna come out higher quality. A lot of people don't know this. So there's 4 C's in the diamond grading category: cut, clarity, color, and carat. So the sizes. Carat is the size. Clarity is how clear it is. Color, if it's gonna be like a yellower or browner tone to basically luminescent, and then cut, the shape of the stone. So there's different grades, but one of the biggest ones is gonna be, well, 2 of the biggest ones, clarity and color. So the clarity of the diamond, you have I diamonds, which are low, then SI, and then you have VS, and then VVS, and then flawless. So you have the grading system. The higher the system is, the better the diamond it is, which increases the value. But it's just like, if you want, you can get a dirty I low grade foggy diamond, or you can get a higher grade lab made diamond that is way better looking. It's just lab made, but it just depends. Do you want to have the dirty foggy inclusion diamonds and pay the same price as this clarity one? So it's just all what.
Oh, damn. Okay.
That's what the customer wants to spend. I'm like, hey, it's all. This is you. I'm showing you the options.
Yeah.
I don't need to cut corners. I don't need to say that this is a natural diamond. You're getting this high quality type of thing, which a lot of people do. They try to sell them, say, no, this is a natural grown, high clarity at this price, but it's actually it's a scam.
It's a low.
So yeah, so you're paying this price for a lower grade, but then
Right.
but if you want the lower grade diamond, I'll be transparent and tell you, hey, you can do this one or that one for the same price, whatever you want to do. So
You remember your first piece?
yeah, the necklace that like as a kid.
Yeah.
As a kid, yeah, I had my mom gave me a custom gold necklace, but that one broke in like 2 weeks because and I feel bad because like now, because she paid so much money, she was doing payment plan, like a layaway plan. It was at this like bazaar back home. They had bazaars in my hometown too, and it was just like this cheap little rinky-dinky Asian built things. Like, so yeah, she paid like a pretty penny with it, man. But now looking at it, I was like, man, that thing was only a couple grams, maybe probably $100 worth, and she paid like $500 for them. So
Oh,
that's
wow.
a $500% profit margin.
Yeah.
And it's just like, My family's been a victim. I've been a victim of it,
Yeah.
getting robbed with jewelry. But that's my main thing. Going back to it, I'm very transparent with people. I do not rob. I have to run a business. I have to charge it. I can't give it to you for free, type of thing.
Right.
All right. I still have things to expense. I have to pay for things. I have a business to run. But I'm also not going to rob you like 500% profit margins.
Right,
like that.
right.
And a lot of people don't know this either. And I always tell people the national average of what jewelers normally charge at their stores is like 300% profit margin, which is crazy, right?
Damn.
300%. But at the same time, too, it's just like
Yeah.
designers, they charge way more compared to what
Right.
they cost. So in a way, I like, and this isn't a shade towards him, but like Johnny Dang. Johnny Dang is a renowned jeweler, a renowned person for grills. So you're paying for the name. You're paying for the, I got my stuff from Johnny Dang, just like a Louis Vuitton. I got my handbag from Louis Vuitton. Like you built up that reputation of high end luxury to where not everybody can say they paid premium cost for Johnny Dang's grills. You can find
Yeah.
a portable locally. I can give you the exact same style that Johnny Dang provides, but it's him.
It's the
I'm not him.
brand, the brand.
That's why. So shouts out to Johnny. You've been doing things, man. You've been killing it in the industry, especially now with it being trendy again. So I know he's killing it in the business game too. But also too, that's more like what we're talking about, accessibility.
Right.
It's just like it's more inclusive. Not everybody can get it. Ferrari, why are they so expensive? Don't get me wrong, that has good quality, but they're not as accessible,
Right.
type of thing. So it goes into
That's pretty wild. Now, so what was the first jewelry piece that you sold?
first jewelry piece that I sold was like when I started the business, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I remember. I don't know why it took me so long. My barber, my boy Dexter, was my first client, and he bought this Cuban necklace that was. We started off doing fashion jewelry, so our budget was low. Like I said, $500 each. So we were trying to think of what can we get the most of, but not pay as much. And so we started off with fashion jewelry. That was our niche. And he was immediately, as soon as I posted it, he was like, "Boom, hey man, how much is that? Can I get the bracelet too?" Boom, 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 and it worked
Yeah.
out. So shout out to you, Dexter. Speaking of,
even with
I need that cut, and I got it on Friday.
Yeah.
Even with it being fashion jewelry, like it was, I still have my Cuban, the necklace
Yeah.
and the bracelet I got from him. And this was like 3 years ago, 3.5 years
Yeah.
ago, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
I still have it in the house. I wore it for New Year's
Oh, nice.
and it still looks amazing.
Yeah.
You take care of it and it looks
Right.
great.
Yeah. So there was nothing wrong with my direction. I actually stopped doing fashion jewelry. Nothing wrong with it at all. It's just I'm just trying to elevate my brand and elevate my production and my set. And I don't want to try to say I'm trying to be like Johnny Dang, for example, but I want to be a known jeweler. And when it comes to even still those, everything that we purchase and what I purchase now, we hand inspect. We make sure that everything is of quality to make sure it's the standards to where it's durable and it's great. We tell people, what you can and can't do with it, with the jewelry, if it's a fashion piece. And like I said, we're very transparent, but people just want to hear what they want to hear, and they like hit me up like a month later. Hey, why is this jewelry piece still? It's like, well,
Yeah.
I told you, you can't, like, it's not an everyday piece.
Right.
It's for special occasions. It's for this and that. Which there's tons of fashion jewelry brands that make a killing, like literally like millions of dollars doing it. But
Right.
it's just like the customer has to know what they can and can't do with it. But there's these guys that are like trying to pretend like it's real, and that as if that they spent thousands and thousands of dollars on this piece when no, you didn't, bro. And
Yeah.
like I said, it's not bad quality. It's just you're not maintaining it very
Yeah.
well, type of thing. So, and that's really the direction of what I went away from it to, because I'm not trying to have those clients that think that they're doing that, because I want people to understand and appreciate what I do, what I have to offer, and the fact that,
So let me ask
get
you,
what you pay.
for your future clients or anyone that's interested, what are the key things they really need to look out for if they're going to purchase their first piece?
Do your research. Go hunt, price compare. If you want, like, for example, this bracelet, it's a 14 millimeter Cuban. It's made with sterling silver, and it's the lab stones, the moissanite lab stones, which is the diamond alternative. So if I wanted to see what the prices were for it, also too, it's kind of sketchy because online some people sell fugazi stuff saying that something is and isn't. So that's where it comes into play. But I would just Google search 14 millimeter Cuban link necklace, moissanite, blah, 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 price compare. But Well, I would say actually go in person, probably do that in person, so that way they can show you, hey, it passes diamond tester. It's a
Right.
lab sun. It's very high quality. Because internet, it's really hard to say, man. That's you can't physically hold it.
Glass.
You can't see it.
Right.
Here's the thing I also do. Speaking of that, kind of want to step away from that question, but I see people try to offer moissanite lapstone. So let me break it down. Moissanite is a diamond alternative that's similar to diamond, but it's not. But it's very similar chemical compounds, and it still passes diamond tester, but a lot more affordable. So you have the lab diamonds, natural, and then you have moissanite. But that's actually been one of my strongest niches, along with lab diamonds, as far as when it comes to, supplying to customers. Like I said, you want to spend what you want. These are your options. Which one works
Right.
best? And they go for the moissanite. It's like, oh, it's a very similar thing. It's still going to pass diamond tester. Yes, yes, yes. And you're good. I can wear it every day. Yes. I can swim shower with it. Yes, you can. You're not going to change color. No, it's not. Boom. So that's why they always go for it. Like I said, that I didn't want to necessarily specialize in moissanite, but that's just the direction that people
Right,
always go.
right.
I literally bought 3 of the exact same things, gave them the prices, and then they always bought for this one. I had those other products, but then I was just like, okay, well, let me invest more in this direction, because that's what's making me the more money.
Yeah.
So going back to it. So I even go onto these sites and I invest into, like, there's no way that this person's selling this for that price. So I buy it, and then only to find out that it's not what they say it is. They try to make it fake. They have like a certification saying it's moissanite.
Yeah. And
only for them to, like I bring out the crib and I message them. I was like, yo, what's going on with this? Like, I passed. Oh, it's okay. We'll refund you. You don't even have to ship it back. I'm like, so you guys are just scamming so many people
Wow.
just to. You're gonna have your little handful of people that are
Yeah.
gonna notice
That
it.
don't bother to research.
And that's the thing. Is like that's what a lot of jewelry businesses do. They sell things for so low in comparison to the real thing, to where the customer's like, well, it's only $100. I'm not gonna give the effort of driving a UPS or actually printing out the label and going to UPS and returning it and having to wait for them to send it back. It's just so there's
Yeah.
so a lot of, they soak it up, which is crazy to me. But they do it, especially on TikTok. Don't buy any jewelry on TikTok. I'm telling you right now, don't do that. I literally did it 5 times because I was like, okay, well, this one didn't
Just to
work.
check it out?
Let me try it again. Let me just see if it. Oh, it didn't work. Didn't work. Didn't work. I'm like, okay, all right. Now I know, because I like to check to see. It's like, because if they buy things that are lower than what I pay for them wholesale, and I had to buy in bulk, I had to buy like 20 of them
Yeah.
to get that price that they're selling for one of them. I was like, well, I'll just buy like 5 of these right here and make sure. And then, but it's only fugazi. It's not what they say it is. So, lesson learned: don't buy. Go shop in person, or shop with a trusted person that you have.
Right. So where you gonna be at next?
Next, I got a show this Thursday at Shakerton's. They're doing it in the Colony. So they're doing like a industry pop-up market thing this Thursday, and then what is it? It's SneakerCon LA on the 15th and 16th. It's a 2-day event, so I'll be in LA then.
Oh,
But
wow.
but I'm always at my store though. It's when I don't travel. So
how can they get a hold of you if they want to holler at you about getting a couple of pieces?
you can hit me up on Instagram at Miggy the Jeweler or at jewelry.department. Either one. I'm always active. Best. I would give out my number, but I'm more active on there than I am my phone. So my family messages me all the time. If they do it on Facebook and they do it on my number, I'm like, yo, just hit me up on Instagram, bro. I will respond to you way faster on Instagram than anything else, because I have to be on it. That's
Yeah.
where I post my content all the time. I reach out to customers. I do everything on there. Instagram's my thing, which I need to do TikTok too, man. But I could probably do. My business can boom a lot on TikTok, but it's just I have too much. I have too much things to do, which is going back to where you're talking about, or what I was saying about once you have somebody, you know what to look for and what to do. It's like, I need a team, and I know what I need to do for this team, but I'm just like, but I don't also, nobody's going to work as hard as you. And I have to accept that. So I have to accept that they won't be as constant on social medias as I would like them to, or they're not going to post new content as much as I like to. It's
I
just-
feel every once in a while though you find that one gem that does. You
it's
gotta-
trial and error.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, there's a lot of, especially like these young people, they love to put content out there. You know what I mean? Just got to find the right person that's willing to get
Yeah.
out there and
and trust. That's my big thing too.
true that.
Because I do have a lot of high end product, and so many. That's one thing that I've learned from my ex. She told me is like that she doesn't never wanted to really to hire somebody, just because there were so many stories of stealing and at the stores that she's worked
Yeah.
at, because in the 18 years that she's been at that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm very cautious on who I would hire, but I still have yet to hire somebody. I've had somebody
Right.
help me out, but it's where I'm always physically there. Like at the shows,
Right.
she's next to me the whole time. When we travel, playing, obviously, then at the shows, like you can't take anything from me. But like if I had somebody at the storefront where I'm in the back office and they're in the front or whatever, and then because he pocketed something, I can't. I have cameras, but I would have
Right.
to watch the cameras.
Yeah.
Type of thing for me to know.
Right.
Type of thing. So it's just trust. Trust is my next thing I need to work on.
Right. So I know we're getting close to that time, but I do want to try to get you to come back and maybe test us out. Maybe bring like a fake diamond, a lab diamond,
Oh,
and
Yeah, we should have did that because she was
and a-
asking me if
and
I
a
was gonna
real
bring any
dummy.
product. I was like, well, I mean, I got what I have. All.
I mean, just so we can,
I'm bottling it off for y'all.
just so we can see, you know, not only that we can learn ourselves. Let's see if we can pick out which one's real, which one's lab,
that'd be fun.
and which one's fake.
I'm down to do that.
I'd love to have you to come back and do something like that.
Not even, and that's the thing where that's something I wanted to do on social media. Is like I have a poll. Hey guys, which one? I got 2 of these pieces here. Which one do you think is which? And then I've been meaning to do
Maybe
those
that
things,
could
but
be your TikTok thing.
I don't have enough time. I need to make the time for it. I know. I get it. That's the thing. I gotta. I'll figure it out, man.
I tell you what,
It's a
That
lot.
could be your little TikTok niche, though.
Yeah.
Like little, hey, today's poll of the day.
yeah. In fact, we can help set that up. We can when we have you come back, when we do our tester thing, we can do a quick video where you can just do a hey, which one's real? Hey, you know what I mean? Do a quick video, and
yeah,
that way you can
that'll-
upload it later, but
Yeah.
you can record it right then and there.
So my thing is along with that, it's like, hey, which one do you think is real? Which one's not? But like, not everybody's gonna want to engage. So I would have to.
Explain a little bit.
No, I would have to give them a reason to engage. Hey, if you get it right, if you get the poll answer right, guess what? You'll be entered in to win a free something.
drawing or something
Yeah,
like
so
that.
like it'll help with the engagement. So that's the thing is like I don't want to just post content. While it still is gonna be good,
Yeah.
but I want reasons on why I want people to
Yeah.
engage, which will help the algorithm, which will help this. So now I got to do. It's a step by step
Yeah,
process.
yeah.
And then with my ADHD, it's just like, well, I got to do that, and then I think about it the whole picture, and I just back away and don't even do it. I'm just like, it's a struggle. It's a big struggle, but I'm working on it though.
I look forward to having you come back because
Yeah, we can
I
definitely do
really
that.
want to
That'd be
see if I can. I know it's gonna be difficult. I mean, not for
When
you,
were we
but
supposed to be having cookies?
oh yeah, we can do this real quick.
Wait, what?
Once again, let everybody know how they can get a hold of you.
Oh yeah. So Shop Jewelry Department is my website, www.shopjewelrydepartment.com. Jewelry.dept on my Instagram, and then MIGGI the jeweler, Miggy the jeweler on Instagram. Let me know, guys.
I
got you
appreciate
guys.
you. But look, I know Oreo does too much, and I know they're not one of our sponsors, but we can try to get them to sponsor us. So look, I picked this up, and I tried to get my my co-host and my engineer producer to try this out. They're like, "Hey, are y'all willing to try it out?" They're like, "Not really, but I will." So like that was their response. So this is the Oreo cookies Sour Patch Kids, all right? And it's got Sour Patch Kids flavor, cookie, and cream with colorful inclusions. So, so we about to open this.
I just feel like I'm gonna be like, oh, it's good, and then the sour.
Well, I mean, in my head, it's just like, well, it's sugar and candy's sugar,
Well, then
so
you
it's not
take
gonna
the
be that.
first one.
It's not gonna be that much of a stretch
yeah.
as far as flavor. But then again, it might make me pucker up, and I don't know if I want that for my Oreo.
Duke, you gonna have a chance to come out here real quick? You gonna
Is it double stuff? Is double stuff in it?
That's what it looks like.
It
yeah.
looks like it is.
It is.
Take
Look,
2 layers.
there's a 2 layer.
Come on now.
All right,
Little
all
thick
right. We're
Oreo.
gonna try this out. Y'all ready?
All right.
Here you go.
Smells good.
I could taste it as soon as I put it close to my mouth. Cause like, you can smell it too.
That's it.
Okay, I can taste a little bit of the tartness.
It doesn't taste bad.
But I tell you this, I could only have one.
I think that's like just like a burst of sugar.
The aftertaste.
My kids would be bouncing off the wall.
Duke, you all right?
Oh.
You okay? You making a face over there?
It was a terrible idea for my braces. Oh,
What store you get it from?
Walmart.
Oh, so they're just having this. It's a crazy collaboration, but nonetheless, collaborations are always good. Just like you're talking about with that one actress is doing the collaboration with Disney. Marvel Jewelry Disney.
Yeah.
Collaborate too. That's one thing I wanted to mention too. Even with local people, don't ever be competitive with somebody. Work together. Y'all can do amazing things if you collaborate. Like one of the most recent ones I was really proud of was El Chewy and True Brand. Two different completely brands, but they're very Dallas based, and
Yeah.
they worked together and launched off a series of hats. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's great.
So it was. I can only have one. I can't.
That's a lot of sugar.
It is. It's super sweet. Look, I appreciate you taking the time and coming out and talking to us.
I appreciate it.
You got any shout outs real quick?
Shout out me for doing me. I've been on a very self improvement, mental, physical, everything journey in the past couple months. So I'm gonna watch this later. I'm like, hey, you got it, Miguel. Keep going. Keep pushing. Everything's gonna be all right.
I like that. I like that. Alice, you got any shout outs?
No, I don't. But in Zone shout out, from what you said earlier, where you're like, I don't see the growth, I don't see anything. As somebody that's from outside that met you like almost 8 years ago, that saw you at Gucci and then start the idea and then go to the business and then start from, you know, like the costume jewelry, to where you're at now. Like, as somebody from outside that's seen you consistently grow, even when you didn't have M&M Jewelers and you came over and did your rebrand and all of that, like, I'm very proud of what you're doing. And you don't notice it, but everybody else out there does. I know
Until I
that
spoke of it.
everybody that is on your social media, everybody that has ever engaged with you or has known you from back in the days when we all used to be in 3606 or in or wherever, you know, like, we all see that. We all see from where we would just see you, and then you were at Gucci, and then you started this idea, and then you dedicated yourself to it, and where you are from where you came from. And so, like, we notice your growth. And so keep doing what you're doing, because you're getting somewhere, and you have that business mentality, you have that creative mentality, and as long as you keep at it, you're going to do great, and you're going to do amazing
Let me
things.
shed a tear here now. I appreciate
So
it.
I'm definitely very proud of you,
Thank you.
and everything that you're doing. So keep it
appreciate
up.
Yeah,
I
you
just
can't
gotta-
stop, man.
I got to keep reminding myself just like how far I've come. And like I said, I don't remember it sometimes. Most of the time I don't remember it, but it's getting there. Because I always want more. You know, I always want to elevate. I always want to keep going, but I don't know. I don't know if there will ever be a time where I don't think there ever will be. When I'll just look back and I'm like,
Dude, just the
I'm good.
jewelry itself, you just look at where you started. You started with costume jewelry, and you've elevated yourself.
Well, let alone
That's a
just-
growth in itself.
let alone when investing $500. I'm not gonna lie, man.
Yeah.
Whenever she asked me, say, hey, let's do half and half, let's invest. I was like, because I was working at Gucci, I was working paycheck. I was like, maybe I can only pay you like $200 now. but I was like, no, I really like you and I really want to invest, so I'm willing to sacrifice that $500. And now it's just like $500 me resupplying something.
Yeah.
like that's nothing. Like I buy one piece of jewelry for that cost. If like obviously not if, higher, but it's like it's just crazy to think that like how big purchases I make just to risk to invest and see if I'll sell it or not. But most of the time, I know what to look for. I know what direction to go, and I know that I will sell it, type of thing. So, but it's also like, you know, ask that to somebody who's never done it before. I'm like, oh, $500. For me not knowing if I'm going to sell it or not, I don't know, bro. I don't want to waste that $500 type of thing. So,
But then sometimes if you don't make the risk, you don't reap the benefits.
the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. And I literally say that because I just got back from the casino and I won. I ended the night with $2,000. So bigger the risk, bigger bets, bigger the reward.
I'm gonna have to talk to you later after this, you know, because my little sister. Ooh, All right.
But that's a perfect example.
Yeah.
You have people that go to the casino and they want to play the penny, and then they get mad because
They don't
they
win big.
spent $100 and they don't win. But then you have other people who specifically set apart $1,000 or $2,000, and they're gonna go and they're like, I'm already coming in with this mentality that this is what I'm gonna
lose
it.
lose, so I'm gonna risk it all. And then I see their stories and they're like, they won 2K, they won 6K, they
Yeah.
got a jackpot of 24. You
Yeah.
know, so in life you have to take a risk if you want to get a benefit at some point.
Right. Nah, I like that. That's really cool. And I appreciate you both very much. Hey, Duke, you got any shout outs back there? Nah. Well, look, I appreciate you very much for coming in and
like I
taking the
said, I
time.
appreciate
I'm
you
looking
on-
forward to having you come back.
Yeah, for sure.
Of course, I appreciate you being back over here again with us. Duke, I always got love and appreciation for you as well. Hey, thank you all for watching. Much love and respect to you all. Don't forget, every Tuesday night we'll be showing our show. So check us out on our website, www.candymanshow.com. You can watch us there or go to our YouTube page and, of course, our Instagram. You can follow us all there, Candyman Show. We appreciate you all very much.
Or
We'll see
listen
you all
on
next
Spotify
week.
and Apple Podcasts.
There you go. She's the reason for all that.
That was
Thank
a
you.
lot of sugar on that cookie.
It was.
We'll see you all next week. Have a great rest of the night. Peace.